And we are back here on Open. Tina's Wish was founded in 2008 in memory of the Honorable Tina Brosman, former chief judge of the SDNY Bankruptcy Court. She died after 2 years after being diagnosed. Her last wish, to create a not-for-profit organization dedicated to funding groundbreaking scientific research for prevention and early detection of ovarian cancer. Joining us here now on set is Beverly Wolfe. She's the executive director of Tina's Wish. We welcome her now to the show. And Beverly, good to have you.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Good. So talk to us a little bit, first of all, about Tina.
Hi, so Tina Brosman was the youngest judge appointed to the Southern District Bankruptcy Court. And when she retired from the bench, she went into private practice. But sadly, she was diagnosed in 2005 with ovarian cancer through multiple misdiagnoses, which is very frequent with ovarian cancer, and then unfortunately she passed away in 2007.
Mm-hmm. And so when we talk about this month is particularly Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month, so
Correct.
National Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month. And for people who don't know about ovarian cancer, let's give them a little background.
Sure. So ovarian cancer is the 5th leading cause of cancer death amongst women and the number 1 deadliest gynecologic cancer for women. And so unfortunately, because there is no early detection screen for the disease, it's primarily detected in stage 3 or 4 when it's spread beyond the ovaries.
And then of course, we know, the rates after that, it's not too well. Anything that's being done about early detection?
So right now we're funding scientific research to hopefully find that early detection screen. So most women will unfortunately think that when they go to their gynecologist for an annual exam and they get a pap smear, they're being tested for ovarian cancer, but unfortunately that's only for cervical cancer. And similarly, you get a mammogram, that's for breast cancer, but there is no pap smear-like test yet for ovarian cancer.
I want to do a little bit about symptoms and signs. That way somebody who's out there might be able to become a little bit more aware. So what are some of the symptoms and signs when it comes to ovarian cancer?
So typically we like to say frequency of urination, feeling full quickly. As one of our doctors will say, particularly here in New York, the Bagel Test. If you eat you used to be able to eat a full bagel, and now you can only eat like a quarter of a half a bagel. Pain during sexual intercourse, anything that persists for more than 2 to 3 weeks, you should then go and see a gynecologist and have it tested out further.
So here's the signs and symptoms for ovarian cancer, and of course, walking through those. And if you have any of those symptoms, we encourage you to make sure that you go ahead and see a doctor and speak to somebody. Fear is a big factor, right? So walk people through what's available in terms of if I've got diagnosed, what are the resources that are available to help walk me through this?
So a few things. Prior to diagnosis, though, what's important to understand is, are you at high risk for the disease? And so one of the most important things is understanding family history. Is there a family history of ovarian cancer or even breast cancer in your family? Are there any genetic mutations that might make you more susceptible to having the disease? Some of those mutations exist primarily more in the Ashkenazi Jewish population, the BRCA genes. So if there's any of those genetic mutations in your family, it's important to know that and to share it with your doctors.
And so if you have the opportunity, I want to talk about too many patients with ovarian cancer. 80% are diagnosed at an advanced stage. So how are we getting people in here early?
Well, that's the reason why Tina's Wish exists. What we're trying to do is, right now we're funding at 11 different research institutions around the country. We spend $1.2 million in grant funding, and we're trying to find that early detection screen so that it just becomes a routine part of a woman's annual exam.
When you have conversations with women, what are some of the conversations that come up when it comes to talking about ovarian cancer?
Right. So most women really don't understand that they're not being screened for the disease, and they're not really aware of even the signs and symptoms that we were just talking about. And then thirdly, they're not aware of who might be at higher risk.
And so if somebody's out there right now and they've got some questions, they've got some information, what do they do?
So for sure, they can look at our website, tinaswish.org, and there's additional information there. They can certainly follow us on social media, where we're constantly posting awareness about the disease, and they can become more educated. And for sure, they should be talking to their doctors as well when they go in for an annual exam.
Yeah, get that information because it's definitely critical. Do you feel like progress is being made?
Yeah, so we're actually very excited of our research projects being funded right now. 2 of them are about ready to go into human clinical trials. So we're excited about that. One is going on at MSK NYU right here in New York City, and one is going on at Dana-Farber up in the Boston area.
And we talked about this being National Ovarian Cancer Month. Talk to us about some of the other things that people can expect throughout the course of the month.
So for us right now on social media, we're having about 4 times a week different social media posts to bring awareness to the disease, both the statistics, the signs and symptoms, and also personal stories of women that have unfortunately either succumbed to the disease, and so their family members are sharing those stories, or even some survivor stories, which are very, very powerful. And then at the end of the month, we'll actually have our annual benefit dinner where we'll host over 800 people for our largest fundraising benefit for the year to really help us continue to fund this amazing scientific research that we've begun.
Yeah, amazing work that continues to be done. Thank you so much. Beverly Wolfe, who's the executive director of Tina's Wish. And once again, you can find out more information. You get to the website. The information is at the bottom of the screen. We encourage you to get connected to it so that way you can find out more about it. Once again, before we get out of here, just one more time about the signs and symptoms. That might be helpful.
Definitely. So anything like frequency of urination, feeling full quickly, pain during sexual intercourse, pelvic or stomach pain, those all might be indications of ovarian cancer, and it certainly should not be overlooked if it persists for more than 2 to 3 weeks.
All righty, Beverly, thank you so much for coming and sharing with us.
Thank you so much for having us.
All righty, listen, we're going to take a quick break. We want you to stay with us. We got more Open coming up right after this. Thank you. Appreciate you. Thanks for coming.